Okay, I'm going to take you through some of the new features of FORMotion, which is now at version 2.1. The last big project we did resulted in a rather major overhaul of the software due to lots of new things that we wanted to do with it. I'll use the Phoenix archive to demonstrate the new toolkit. So here we are. This is FORMotion version 2.1. You can pick HD or SD mode. I'm going to pick SD mode just because I'm screen recording at the same time, so I should get less frame drops. If I go to File, as well as Open Library, which has been there from the beginning, you've now also got Open Module, which allows you to load in these education resources and other resources that we've been working on. I'll come back to that in a second. But also the interface generally has had a bit of an overhaul. So if I go to Open Library and load one of the new works in, Repetition of Change is one of the latest dance works we've archived. So load that into screen 1 and 2. You'll notice that the icons are arranged maybe a bit differently to previous versions of FORMotion. They now kind of represent an analogue of the stage, so this would be the front of the stage here. So you've got your front views here, overhead in the centre, left and right, and then back view. You've also got a list now, because all of these icons represent camera angles. The different parts of a dance are now cycled through here. And in some of the ballets that ends up being loads and loads of parts, so the ability to access a list of them is pretty crucial. Not so much when you've only got 3 parts, but there you go. So load in front view and overhead maybe. You got the separate screen controls, which now have text hints below. So you've got play, pause, step forward, backward, slow motion, skip and rewind. So you've got that on both screens, and then you've got the global screens as well. So you can control the screens independently. And also together. So to control the screens together, I'll press Enable Sync. The controls from the separate screens disappear, and now you can control those screens together. You can also create loops once they're synced, either by going up to the loop menu and clicking new loop there, or using the L shortcut button under each screen. When the screens are linked, either of these buttons will do. I'll bring up this. Here you can see the screens synced together. Find the start point of your loop, press start, then play or slow motion through to where you want the end of your loop to be. Press end and then go. Simple as that. That will loop round. It'll loop round either until you go to clear loop, or you can just press the L button again and it will just keep playing. This feature's been in FORMotion since the beginning. You can also flip screens to reflect a studio mirror, and then enlarge the screen, large screen 2, full screen. So as well as opening libraries, you can also open modules. And these are the things that we've been working on most this year. These modules will be saleable products for the dance companies, basically. So we'll produce an archive for them, like the one I've just shown you. But also, from that archive, we can take excerpts of dance and produce resource packs for dance teachers. So the one we've produced a pilot module to show how this might happen, and you can load this into the archive. And this is much more structured content, so it's designed to be used in front of a class rather than in a professional dance studio. Units of content, so here an excerpt from Repetition of Change has been taken out for close study. Much more simplified interface than the FORMotion that's used in the studio, until that is you get to things that use something which we call free play mode. The free play mode, this one has free play mode, I believe. Yes, free play mode is pretty much the full set of tools available in FORMotion 2.1, but in this special context for use as dance education resources. You know, and it takes you through it, teachers' guides. Yeah, it is pretty much the same system, but here it's being delivered as part of a structured resource.
So, level 2, we're going to bend the knee. This time we're thinking about maybe kicking a football that's far away. And we're going to come up into the parallel position. Same arms as before, okay? And bend the knee, kick.
So, even though these have been built as part of FORMotion, they're standalone modules which you could then sell. But if I close this module, we'll go back to the archive, the Phoenix Dance Theatre archive proper. So I think that pretty much covers all the new features. Yeah, that pretty much covers all the new features of FORMotion 2.1.